So,
Stop posing.
Well, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Franklin County Board of Commissioners General Session for January 31st. As a reminder, this is a public meeting, so if, for those of you that are calling in, if you could please remember to ensure that your line is muted. We will begin this morning's Pledge of Allegiance we'll begin this morning with the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Crowley.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. We'll need an approval of the minutes for the January 3rd, 2023 organizational meeting, the January 3rd, January 10th, January 17th, and January 23rd, 2023 general sessions, and the January 5th, January 12th, and January 19th, 2023 briefing sessions.
So moved.
second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
I'm just not.
I'm making the motion today,
catching up
right?
there. Yeah,
I'm making
you
the
are, you
motion.
are, you
Oh,
are.
okay.
Yeah, you are.
Yes. All right, thank you. I was like, was I not supposed to do that?
We'll start.
Coffee.
Commissioner Crawley,
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Thank you, the minutes have been approved.
All right. We'll begin this morning with the coroner. Good morning, Dr.
Resolution number 5423. Resolution authorizing a subaward agreement for the acceptance of a subgrant award from Franklin County Public Health's Center for Disease Control and Prevention Overdose Data to Action Grant and related data use agreement in furtherance of the subaward agreement, and to authorize the county administrator to sign on behalf of the Franklin County coroner in the amount of $74,948.91.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administrator. My name is Amanda Wright. I am the Director of Operations for the Franklin County Forensic Science Center. I'd like to take one brief moment to actually introduce, if you've not already read, Dr. Overmeyer. He is the new coroner. So I brought him with us to experience general session. So, do you want to say anything?
That's okay with the commissioners?
Good morning.
Good morning, everyone. It is such an honor and a pleasure to be here this morning with you all. I'm looking forward to working with you and getting to know each and all three of you very personally and intimately so that we can do the good work for the people of Franklin County. I'm happy to report that in these first few weeks on the job, I've gotten to know the folks at the Forensic Science Center very well. I'm looking forward to continuing to understand their unique stories so that we can elevate them and help them and support them with whatever they need. But I'm also looking forward to further engaging with you all, other stakeholders, and folks in the county so that they understand what we do and what we're doing so well in the office. And I can share with you that the office is running very efficiently, very smoothly. I'm going to facilitate some improvements where needed, but I'm so honored and looking forward to this work that we're doing. It's so important, especially with the news of what we're going through in the county. We've seen quite a rise in deaths here, and I want to improve where we can and ensure that we're preserving justice for the decedents of our county and their loved ones, and influencing and impacting safety wherever I can. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, this opportunity to speak with you all and to be here. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Mr. President, may I ask him a question?
Please.
Sir, can you give me a breakdown on the last 3 years of this particular resolution? And I'm just kidding with you. I wanted to welcome you to Franklin County.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yeah.
Come on now.
I want to see if you were alert there. That's all. That's all. Yeah.
Did you see my face kind of just kind of changed? I was like, okay, I wasn't
You
prepared for
totally
that.
fell for it. You
Started
totally
to turn
fell for
red.
it. Yeah.
This is a great article in this morning's paper, Dr. O'Brien.
Thank you. That's very happy.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you so much.
All right, so this resolution for the OD2A subgrant from Franklin County Public Health will be presented for the county administration to sign on our behalf. This is for the Overdose to Action Grant to support collaboration, expand the data analysis, and investigative capacity for overdoses to aid in prevention strategies and outreach activities. This grant will end August 31st of 2023. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer those. If not, we ask for your approval.
Okay, so you answer Commissioner Boyce's question.
I do have a question, though. Why does this agreement need to be signed by the county administrator on behalf of the coroner? How come the coroner can't sign? what's the history?
May I defer to Janine?
Commissioners, the only time that there's authority for an elected official to sign is if there's direct language in the statute for this.
Okay.
For this particular contract, there is no.
Okay, thank you. That was easy. Oh, you know. I move,
regular
if there are no, right, I was on it for the minutes. Okay. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 54-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 5423 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Sometimes it takes a minute when somebody does overseas travel. to
Oh
get-
my
to
gosh,
get
I
back
am
into the swing of
recovering from 15 hours of flying, so,
things. Okay,
yeah.
on to the engineer, thank you.
Resolution number 5523, resolution accepting the annual bridge inspection report for 2022.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Reporting live from Studio L in the virtual Lane Avenue Bridge. My name is Cornell Robertson, honored to serve as Franklin County Engineer for every resident, every day. Commissioners, this first resolution is the annual bridge inspection report for year 2022. We inspected the 357 bridges in Franklin County's jurisdiction. I'm happy to report that no Franklin County bridges are closed due to structural deficiencies. 71% were rated good, very good, or excellent, and 98% were rated fair or better. 47 Franklin County bridges are over 100 years old. 9 bridges are rated in poor condition, but all 9 are currently under design or plan for reconstruction. And 30 bridges are rated in fair condition, so they are on deck. We're keeping a close eye on them and actively seeking funding for their maintenance, rehabilitation, or replacement. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 55-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes,
Resolution number 5523 has been adopted. Resolution number 5623, establishing, altering, and widening of Rings Road, County Road number 33, at Cosgray Road, County Road number 39, Washington Township, Franklin County, Ohio, declared necessary.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is in the northwest part of the county in Washington Township at the offset T intersections of Rings Road and Cosgray Road. It is a cooperative project with the City of Dublin. This resolution is the first in a series of 2 to declare the project necessary and will allow the Franklin County Engineers Office to begin the infrastructure investment and improvement process. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 56-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting. Commissioner Crowley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
yes,
Resolution number 5623 has been adopted. Resolution number 5723, resolution awarding contract and approving contract bond to Strasser Paving Company Incorporated for the Norton Road at Crop Road, Grove City Road roundabout in the amount of $2,627,321.29.
This capital improvement project is in the southwest part of the county in Pleasant Township at the intersection of Norton Road, Crop Road, and Grove City Road. It is a cooperative project to build a roundabout with federal safety funding through the Ohio Department of Transportation, funding from Ohio Public Works Commission, and road and bridge funds administered by your friendly Franklin County engineer. This resolution is for a construction contract with Strasser Paving Company. We held a competitive bid on December 13th, had 6 bids, and Strasser had the lowest and best bid. This is a federally funded project, so ODOT's DBE program has been implemented at 8%. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 57-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 5723 has been adopted. Resolution number 5823, DLZ Ohio Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing Part 2 detailed engineering design services for the Cook Road from Carl Road to Cleveland Avenue Improvement Project, Clinton Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $388,062.08.
This capital improvement project is in the northeast part of the county in Clinton Township along Cook Road from Carl Road to Cleveland Avenue. This is also a cooperative project among Franklin County, Clinton Township, and City of Columbus to reconstruct the roadway, improve drainage, and upgrade pedestrian infrastructure as a first mile, last mile project connecting Cook Road residents to COTA bus routes along Cleveland Avenue. We currently have funding from MORPSI, but we will try to close the funding gap by applying to the U.S. Department of Transportation for bipartisan infrastructure law funding and/or to the U.S. Congress for community project funding. This resolution is a contract with DLZ for Part 2 of detailed design. We use the qualifications-based selection process. We have worked with DLZ before, and DLZ is a certified MBE. Happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 58-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 5823 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention. Resolution number 5923, Woolport Incorporated Consulting Engineers appointed to assist the Franklin County Engineer by providing detailed engineering design services for the Ennis Road Improvement Project, Clinton Township and Mifflin Township, Franklin County, Ohio, in the amount of $76,266.
Commissioners, this capital improvement project is also in the northeast part of the county, in Clinton and Mifflin Townships, along Ennis Road from Cleveland Avenue to Westerville Road. This is a pedestrian infrastructure, first mile, last mile project to fill a gap in sidewalk, install a crosswalk near a COTA bus stop, and reduce the number of lanes along Ennis Road utilizing federal safety funds through the Ohio Department of Transportation, as well as Franklin County Road and Bridge funds. This resolution is a contract with Woolpert for detailed design. We use the qualifications-based selection process. Woolpert is a local engineering firm, and we have worked with Woolpert before. Pending any questions, I request your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 59-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 5923 has been adopted. Resolution number 6023, resolution approving street and stormwater plans for Plum Run Crossing, Jackson Township, Franklin County, Ohio.
This subdivision is in the southwest part of the county in Jackson Township on the south side of Zuper Road between Boer Road and State Route 104. With this resolution, we are asking you to approve and sign the plans for the streets and storm sewer infrastructure for the proposed 8-lot subdivision by A&J Development. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I move to approve Resolution 60-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6023 has been adopted.
Thank you all very much. Have a great day.
You do the
Thanks,
same.
Porno.
Thank you.
All right, on to the prosecuting attorney.
Resolution number 4323, resolution authorizing the Board of Commissioners of Franklin County, Ohio to enter into a consultant contract with Paul Worth Associates Incorporated for public relations management and strategies in the amount of $100,000.
Good morning, Commissioners. Again, this contract is a renewal of prior services provided to the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office. Last year, around June of 2022, the Prosecutor's Office entered into a contract with Paul Worth to provide public relations services. This is an extended contract for an additional year as we evaluate bringing these services in-house and allow the Prosecutor's Office to use expertise of Paul Worth and Associates. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to address them. If not, we'd ask for your approval.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 43-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 4323 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
All right. The Economic Development and Planning.
Resolution number 6123. Resolution authorizing the Director of Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department to sponsor applications for market development grants for the Recycling and Litter Prevention Grants Program offered by the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency for program year 2023, authorizing the county administrator to enter into agreements with the Ohio EPA and approved private applicants and subaward agreements with approved applicants, and authorizing the acceptance of market development grant funds from the Ohio EPA and disbursement of those funds to approved applicants in accordance with the grant program and agreements.
Good morning, Commissioners, Administrators, and staff. Emmanuel Torres, Assistant Director of Economic Development and Planning. And this resolution seeks your approval to authorize the Director of Economic Development and Planning to sponsor applications for market grants for the Recycling Litter Prevention Grant Programs that's offered by the Ohio Environmental Protection Agency, referred to as Ohio EPA, for this program year 2023. The resolution will also authorize the county administrator to enter agreements with the Ohio EPA and approve private applicants, as well as subaward agreements with approved applicants. Furthermore, it will authorize the acceptance of market development grant funds from the Ohio EPA, the disbursement of those funds to the approved applicants in accordance with the grant program and agreements. Under the Recycling and Litter Prevention Program, the Ohio EPA offers various grant programs like the Recycling Market Development Grant, which provide opportunities for businesses and nonprofit organizations with projects that propose to create infrastructure necessary for successful markets of recyclable materials and or related products. This grant program requires that the applicants have a governmental sponsor. The county has successfully sponsored applications in prior program years and would serve solely as a governmental sponsor and pass-through entity for the Ohio EPA grant funds. We anticipate at least one application for this year, which has an application deadline of February 3rd, 2023. Pending any questions, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 61-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6123 has been adopted. Resolution number 6223. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Mabel L. Henry at 2441 Wynwood Avenue, Township of Franklin, Ohio, 43223.
Good morning, Commissioners. Welcome back, Commissioner Crawley. I hope you had a good time in Brazil. My first resolution is Mabel L. Henry. She received on November 1st, 2017 from Franklin County a home loan for $8,218.30 on real estate, commonly known as 2441 Wynwood Avenue, Township of Franklin, Ohio. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied and the property taxes are paid and current, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
Yeah. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 62-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6223 has been adopted. Resolution number 6323, resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for Donnie D. Nelson at 3580 Brookside Boulevard, Township of Franklin, Ohio, 43204.
Donnie D. Nelson received on November. received on November 2nd, 2019 from Franklin County a home loan for $12,150.40 on real estate, commonly known as 3580 Brookside Boulevard, Township of Franklin, Ohio. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 63-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6323 has been adopted. Resolution number 6423. Resolution authorizing the Board of Franklin County Commissioners to sign the attached discharge of mortgage instrument for YMCA Housing Limited Partnership at 40 West Long Street, Columbus, Ohio, 43215.
YMCA Housing Limited Partnership received on February 23rd, 1996 from Franklin County a home loan for $250,000 on real estate, commonly known as 40 West Long Street, Columbus, Ohio. The requirements of the housing loan have been satisfied, and I respectfully request the approval of the discharge of mortgage on this property.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 64-23.
Moved and seconded voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6423 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jaleesa. On to Job and Family Services.
Resolution number 6523. Resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Franklin County Office on Aging for Adult Protective Services in the amount of $1,511,562.
Good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Turner, Chief Administrator. The Ohio Revised Code designates county departments of Job and Family Services responsible for providing protective services for elderly adults 60 and over who have been abused, neglected, or exploited. The ORC permits us to designate another agency to administer these adult protective services, and we have contracted annually with our sister Health and Human Services Agency, Franklin County Office on Aging, to do so since 1999. We are seeking approval to continue this practice for calendar year 2023. Office on Aging will provide advocacy for client rights, conduct investigations and court interventions, and offer other assistance to vulnerable older adults so that they can be protected from individuals or environments that endanger their physical or emotional well-being. The Office on Aging conducts approximately 2,000 APS investigations each year. We have invited current Office on Aging Director Shonda Wingo to join us and speak a bit more about the APS program.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. Elder abuse is a critical public health issue, according to the Administration for Community Living. Elder abuse survivors report higher rates of depression, hospitalizations, institutionalizations, and are 3 times more likely to die prematurely. In 2022, our APS department received over 2,280 referrals. The largest category for these referrals were self-neglect and exploitation. In response, our agency worked tirelessly to bring the community up to awareness on what elder abuse is, warning signs, and ways to prevent it. This included participating in over 300 events in the community, as well as launching our monthly seminar series, which touched on financial exploitation and other issues specific to older adults. Adult Protective Services collaborates with our Senior Options Program, financial institutions, and other community programs to put in place support services that our older adults and their families may need. We also work very closely with law enforcement, probate, and the guardianship board to make sure that if criminal charges are brought against the perpetrator, they have all the information that is needed. This year, we will continue to educate the community on elder abuse because every person matters every day, no matter how old, and deserves to be safe from harm and treated with honestly care and respect. Thank you.
Pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 65-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6523 has been adopted. Resolution number 6623, resolution approving a subaward agreement with the Mid-Ohio Food Bank for the purchase and distribution of food to Franklin County soup kitchens, food pantries, emergency shelters, and community distribution events in the amount of $100,000.
Commissioners, our final resolution this morning includes the Mid-Ohio Food Bank, which has seen a significant increase in the number of families entering the emergency feeding system for the first time since the start of the pandemic. And unfortunately, the need is only more likely to increase again beginning in March with the expiration of the SNAP emergency allotments. As you know, Commissioners, those are the additional SNAP benefits that are issued to each assistance group to bring them up to the maximum amount permitted per household. Mid-Ohio Food Bank will be a vital resource for residents navigating the substantial drop in assistance. Under this subaward, the Mid-Ohio Food Bank will continue to support the purchase and distribution of food to Franklin County emergency food pantries, shelters, and soup kitchens. During the last service period, the Mid-Ohio Food Bank served over 53,475 families and distributed over 236,000 pounds of food to our partner organizations. As estimated, 50,000 Franklin County residents at or below 200% of the federal poverty level will be served. This resolution supports goals number 8 and 10 of our Rise Together blueprint, and we are joined this morning by the Mid-Ohio Food Bank President and CEO and the Rise Together Innovation Institute Board Chair, Matt Habash, to talk a bit more about the resolution and the work of the Mid-Ohio Food Bank.
Good morning, Commissioners. One correction, I'm the Vice Chair of the Rise Together. Trudy has agreed to stay on for another year, so we're blessed to have her in that capacity. I just want to say thank you. I mean, one of the challenges we're continuing to see, I think this is my 39th year of being the director of this organization, and I've never seen the numbers as big as they are now. They're bigger than they were at the height of COVID, and I think that's the message to everybody, and unfortunately, as our administrator just stated, they're going to get worse. As the SNAP emergency benefits come off, we're going to see, I think the numbers in the paper the other day, if I were 161,000 residents were eligible for SNAP, we're going to see a reduction. And as a result of that, particularly with our seniors, we're going to see big impact in needing help. So this food from this dollars will go a long way into addressing those issues in the short term with critical items that, we all go to the store these days and see what the price of food is, particularly some of the dairy items and eggs and things like that. So this for us is a real big help right now as we anticipate the numbers getting even worse when the additional SNAP benefits end. So thank you for your support. Again, you guys have stepped up in so many ways to help us, and we are eternally grateful.
Thank you. And Commissioners, pending any questions, we request your approval of this resolution.
Mr. President, if I may. Thank you. Thank you, Chief and Matt, for that overview. It is unfortunate that a number of our residents will see a significant reduction when it comes to SNAP benefits. And so as the governor gives his State of the State address today and prepares to talk about his budget priorities, I would hope to see in the governor's introduced version of the budget, a significant investment in our food banks across the state. And I would be highly disappointed if we do not, but then the legislature, as I always ask our residents, to call on their state representatives and state senators to advocate for additional dollars for our food banks. I am honored to serve with two great colleagues who continue to support our residents, making sure that they have food on the table, that they don't find themselves food insecure, but that does not give the legislature or the governor or the governor's administration to pass. And so, again, I'm asking, I have a call to action for everyone who is listening to, talk to your state representatives and your state senators as we are getting ready to get in the budget season, and advocate for significant investment in our food banks. Thank you.
Mr. President, may I?
Please.
Thank you. I too want to thank JFS and the Mid-Ohio Food Collective for its work. I just really can't think of a more fundamental measurement for quality of life than access to food. But this is a short-term solution. And Mr. Habash, you said something that really struck a chord with me, which was these are the highest rates of food insecurity that we've seen in a long time, even comparing that to our early COVID time. And what it makes me think of is what's next. What are we prepared and ready for the next phase of need for our residents who have the greatest need? And so I guess what I'd like to maybe ask both our JFS leadership as well as Vivian Hsu, as well as Matt, what are our broader needs? One, this may be a short-term stopgap, but what are the needs for the stretch that we've got coming? And two, what are we doing with regards to advocacy for those SNAP benefits? Are we coordinating with our congressional delegation to advocate and make sure that they fully understand the impact and the implications of that reduction? I was dealing with a constituent that JFS was helping me with just yesterday, and this has a very significant impact on that single mom with 3 children, and so these are our residents, and we really need to make sure that our congressional delegation is understanding the impact that we're working to address locally. But I guess I'm asking that question to you all. What is the game plan past this short-term stopgap?
So I'll let Matt go first.
Okay. Thank you both, to both commissioners, for the comments and the question. For us, it really is around how do we go upstream and address the root causes. That's been probably the reason. That's the reason for the name change to Mid-Ohio Food Collective. It really is to say, what does it look like to end hunger, and how do we lead in that space, and what's the role of a food bank in assisting in that space? Because we've seen the numbers. Clearly for us, higher wages was something we've been championing for a long time. We went to $15 an hour 8 years ago to lead the way, so that I had the moral imperative to tell everybody else, start raising wages. If you truly want to move people out of poverty, it's an income question mostly, to be able to afford the things that we all take for granted. Clearly, affordable housing and everything we can do in that space is probably the number one most critical issue. Probably the most economic development issue is making sure we have affordable daycare. That to me is a big issue. We take that for granted, but there's a lot of reasons why people aren't going back in the workplace, and one of them is because they can't afford the daycare. And at the end of the day, I often tell people food insecurity has nothing to do with food. At the end of the day, it's a resource question, but it's the most variable part of your budget. You got to pay your rent, you got to pay your mortgage, you got to pay your utility bills, et cetera, your daycare, or you can't, receive those benefits that, we all take for granted. The challenge, I think, going forward is really to get our congressional and both our state, as Commissioner Crawley just pointed out, our state legislature to understand the impact of this. The misnomer in all of this is that people are not working. And I think that's the thing, that we have to continue to convey. These people are working, more and more the people we help work. But I don't know what our senior citizens are going to do. How many people are expecting them to go back to work when the benefits for SNAP go from over $200 a month back down to that $23 a month? That's a big hit to their budget at a time when inflation is really driving up food costs. So it's going to take everybody pulling together, quit blaming the victim, and at the end of the day, let's look for, hopefully bipartisan solutions to solving these challenges that are, I think, hitting half of America. These are big numbers across the country that people are struggling, and it's almost half of America is really living on the edge.
Eggs are like $8.
Yes.
It's it's hard. For people, like, as you said, Matt, people are working multiple jobs, and then when you're paying $8 for eggs, that can only go so far for people who are already experiencing more month than money, and is already robbing Peter to pay Paul to keep a roof over their head, water running, and the lights on. And so, I appreciate those comments.
Mr. President, if I could just, again, hoping that JFS could give me some sense of the game plan from beyond this $100,000 appropriation that.
Yes, so Commissioner, I was going to just mention, we're meeting with the State House representatives on this coming Friday. This will be a large part of our discussion with our state representatives. We'll also be working with Lauren to inform our federal representatives to ensure they have all of the ammunition and the numbers that will be impacted. I think here in Franklin County, it'll be just over 160,000 families. And so we're going to make sure that that message is heard loud and clear here locally, as well as at the federal level. We're also, as Matt said, there's some other substantial issues that impact, and he mentioned daycare. We'll continue to support the RISE, Franklin County RISE initiative, which will support families, lower income families with daycare and scholarships. We'll be working with Commissioner Crawley to up that RISE initiative for an additional year. We're also continuing to invest in workforce programs that help rise or help low-income families rise out of poverty. That includes our Building and Driving Futures, our Roads to Work, as well as one of our other initiatives, Tech Women of Color, along with other workforce development initiatives and support for job attainment programs that we currently fund. But we will be attentive to all of those things. And if you have any other suggestions about how we get in front of this and advocate on behalf of all of the residents that may be impacted, we'd be more than happy to meet with your office and discuss further actions.
Thank you. I would only add, I did talk to DCA Bivens yesterday and share with her my thoughts of where I felt that we could put more attention to. And so I know she's taken a little break. And so I think she assigned someone to follow up with me. But the only other thing I'll throw out, Mr. President, is, and I don't want to speak for my colleagues, but to Mr. Habash, President Habash there, we consider ourselves your partners in this fight. We know you're on the ground floor, on the front line, and we know that our resources get the biggest bang and the biggest stretch working through you. So I want to encourage you to continue to engage us. And let's think creatively about resources that we can provide to the Mid-Ohio Food Collective, whether it's TANF resources or other resources that may let you folks work that out. But let's be creative about getting ahead of this best we can, because if it's higher than it was in COVID, then we've got some real challenges to think about that are even coming, because it's all lagging anyways. Whatever the impact 3 months ago is hitting today, and whatever the impact today will hit 3 months from now. And so we just need to be prepared and get ahead of as best we can. So thank you.
Absolutely, Commissioner. We will certainly reach out to your office. And pending any further questions, we request your approval.
If there are no additional comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 66-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6623 has been adopted.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Thanks, Vivian. Thanks,
Thank you.
Matt.
Thank you.
All right, Justice Policy and Programs.
Resolution number 6723, resolution authorizing a professional services contract with LC Day for the purpose of technical assistance, planning, and facilitation of a strategic planning retreat with members of the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board through the FY 2020 Justice Assistance Grant Program in the amount of $8,700.
Good morning, Commissioners, Administration. Rochelle Pry, Director for the Office of Justice Policy and Programs. The Franklin County Office of Justice Policy and Programs serves as the administrative agency to the Franklin County Reentry Advisory Board. Members of the RAB are appointed by the Franklin County Board of Commissioners and are charged with developing diverse solutions and policy recommendations to the challenges and barriers that hinder justice-involved residents' access to equal and equitable opportunity, building a culture and platform that promotes inclusion of justice-involved residents in business and the workforce, housing, education, and all aspects of a productive community, as well as leveraging collective knowledge across multiple disciplines. Ms. Elsie Day will work closely with OJPP and the Reentry Advisory Board members to provide assistance with strategic planning. The work will include information gathering and analysis, sessions, and a retreat preparation, as well as facilitation, and the development of an updated strategic plan to serve as the blueprint for efforts moving forward. The term of this contract shall be from December 1, 2022 through June 30th of 2023, unless it is extended for any additional term not to exceed 3 one-year terms, subject to availability of funds and upon written agreement executed by all parties. Ms. Day has extensive experience in strategic planning and working with communities and justice organizations throughout the state of Ohio. Pending any questions, we would seek your approval of this resolution.
If there are no comments or questions, we'll move for approval of Resolution 67-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6723 has been adopted.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same. Thank you.
Take care, Rochelle. On to sanitary engineer.
Resolution number 6823. Resolution authorizing a second modification to the professional engineering services contract with MS Consultants Incorporated for the sanitary sewer improvements project, an increase of $77,613.34 for a total amount of $2,191,218.25.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Ryan Stowe with the Sanitary Engineer. Via Resolution 51119, the Department of Sanitary Engineering, on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, entered into a contract with MS Consultants to provide professional engineering services for the original amount of $2,113,604.91. The original contract was modified via Resolution 954-22, and another modification is required. Due to unanticipated circumstances related to our Canal Roslyn Sanitary Sewer Improvement Project and our Village Park Pump Station Replacement Project, additional effort is required and will be required to address current and future needs. Cost of the extra effort is estimated to be $77,613.34, which brings the total contract value to $2,191,218.25. The additional cost will be covered by the $5 million provided to the Department of Sanitary Engineering by the Board of Commissioners, and this modification has been reviewed and approved of form by the Prosecutor's Office. Pending any questions or comments, I respectfully request the approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 68-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6823 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ryan. Human Resources.
Resolution number 6923. Resolution authorizing an agreement with the American Red Cross to allow certified trainers in the Department of Human Resources Risk Management to conduct training courses for Franklin County employees in the amount of $15,000.
Good morning, Commissioners and County Administration. I'm Laura Rapaski, Franklin County Human Resources Director. This resolution seeks approval of an agreement with the American Red Cross to authorize certified trainers in risk management to provide Franklin County employees with initial certification and recertification in adult and pediatric CPR, first aid, and AED training. The agreement period will be effective upon execution for a period of 36 months in an amount not to exceed $15,000. The resolution would also authorize the county administrator to approve future agreements related to employee safety and professional development training in an amount not to exceed $20,000, provided that procurement and contracting processes have been followed and the agreement has been approved to form by the prosecutor's office. Pending any questions or comments, we respectfully request approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 69-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting. Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 6923 has been adopted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Laura. The Purchasing Department.
Resolution number 7023. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $10,846,060.22.
Good morning, Commissioners. D'Amica Withers, Chief Economic Equity and Inclusion Officer in the Office of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, presenting today on behalf of Director Megan Perry-Ballinier. The resolution requests your approval of 192 purchase orders for which the county auditor has pre-certified available funding. 28 of these purchase orders are being presented for award to various certified small and emerging businesses, totaling $1,365,003.14. This includes 3% to minority businesses and 7% to women businesses. 12 agencies provided equitable and inclusion opportunities to small businesses. I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 70-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 7023 has been adopted. Resolution number 7123. Resolution approving purchases for various Franklin County agencies in the amount of $4,655.99.
Commissioners, this resolution requests your approval for one purchase order to DLZ Ohio, a registered minority business enterprise firm, on behalf of the engineer's office totaling $4,655.99. Pending any questions, I respectfully request your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 71-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Abstain.
Resolution number 7123 has been adopted with Commissioner Boyce's noted abstention.
Thank you.
Thank you, D'Amica. The Board of Commissioners.
Resolution number 7223. Resolution authorizing a consulting services contract with Franklin Hirsch to support the County Hospital Commission of Franklin County.
Good morning, Commissioners. Zach Telerik with the Office of Management and Budget. This resolution would authorize a one-year contract to allow Frank Hirsch to continue in his role as Administrative Counsel to the Hospital Commission. The amount of the contract is $16,000, the same as last year. Pending any questions, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Thank you. If there are no comments or questions, I move for approval of Resolution 72-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 7223 has been adopted. Resolution number 7323. Resolution establishing an employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty policy in lieu of individual public official bonds for various Franklin County officials.
Commissioners, this resolution would authorize, pursuant to Section 3.061 of the revised code, the use of an employee dishonesty and faithful performance of duty policy rather than individual public official bonds that would be required by law. Section 3.061 of the revised code was implemented in 2018 and authorizes the Board of Commissioners as the legislative body of the county to adopt this resolution. Pending approval of this resolution, the Franklin County Prosecutor's Office, Department of Human Resources, and the Office of Management and Budget would work with the county's insurance broker to convert coverage from the individual bonds to the county's part of the county's policy. Pending any question, would ask for your approval of this resolution.
Mr. President, I have a question. So what's the potential outcome of that? I mean, so we'll go from an actual bond, having bond coverage to a policy. So what happens in the case of a situation, you know, how are we covered? Are we sort of self-covered then? How does that work?
No, there is a third-party coverage. So this would be just like with property insurance or any employee dishonesty policy. If there's a loss, there'd be a deductible, but then anything above the deductible would be covered.
Okay. You should have said that.
No.
Okay. If there are no additional comments or questions, move for approval of Resolution 73-23.
Second.
Moved and seconded, voting, Commissioner Crawley.
Yes.
Commissioner Boyce.
Yes.
Commissioner O'Grady.
Yes.
Resolution number 7323 has been adopted.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, do we have any journalizations today?
Yes, we have one. Case number ANX-03-23, an expedited Type 2 annexation petition, ANX-03-23, was filed with the Franklin County Economic Development and Planning Department on January 25th, 2023. The petition is requesting to annex 0.48 acres from Mifflin Township to the City of Columbus. The petition will be considered by the Board of Commissioners on February 28th, 2023. The site is 2594 Johnstown Road, PID number 190-000391.
All right, thank you. Is there any media or press that would like to speak with any of the commissioners on any topics? Hearing none, the meeting is adjourned.